In an era of the automotive industry desperate for more marvels, Bugatti is about to impress once again. The French automaker has forged another soon-to-be legend, a vehicle that pays tribute to all those iconic Bugatti models from the past, but also utilizes the latest technologies to set new standards in the hypercar universe. This won't be just another chapter in the automotive history books. This car is designed to become and remain a timeless classic for decades to come. Behold the new 2026 Bugatti Tourbillon, a timeless symphony on wheels, which we're about to take a quick look at now. But before we start, make sure to like, share, and subscribe because many more reviews and previews of the world's most amazing car models are on our channel. Over the last couple of decades, Bugatti has been responsible for many records performance-wise, and the recipe was always the same. Huge displacement, as many as possible cylinders, and as large as possible turbochargers. Whether it's about Veyron or Chiron, the core was that legendary W16 engine with 8 liters in displacement. But everything comes to an end, and so does this turbocharged monster. And when developing a successor, the management was considering various options. Of course, one of the possibilities was an all-electric setup. Others suggested further development of the W16. Finally, there was an option of a naturally aspirated W16 that would serve as the basis for a hybrid powertrain. Eventually, Bugatti decided to develop a completely new engine along with Cosworth, and there wasn't a bit of rationality in this decision. It was all about the passion. 8.3 liters in displacement, a new V16 layout with a cross-plane crank, which would be equivalent to a flat-plane V8. It was clear that Bugatti was preparing a symphony never heard before. The new engine revs over 9,000 RPM, along with massive displacement, allows the max output of nearly 1,000 horsepower. On the other hand, considering that there's no forced induction, the max torque remained relatively modest, 664 pound-feet. Yeah, it feels like a bit of a downgrade compared to the old W16 that was equipped with a monstrous turbocharger, but that's because the new engine is just half of the new powertrain setup. The idea was to offer superior sonic features, which would never be possible with forced induction. And for the much-needed power, well, that's where the electricity comes from. Remember that Bugatti merged with Rimac a couple of years ago? Yes, that merger gave Bugatti access to the most advanced EV technology in the world. A hybrid with an 800-volt architecture? It's not something we're seeing every day. More importantly, the whole setup includes not 1 or 2, but 3 electric motors, 1 at the rear and 2 more at the front. Altogether, these 3 motors put out nearly 800 horsepower, and when we sum it up with the new V16, the Tourbillon ends up with a combined output of 1,775 horsepower, which is nearly 200 horsepower more compared to the most capable Chiron, the so-called Super Sport. But it's important to keep in mind that the benefits of the new hybrid setup aren't just in terms of more power. The new engine design has opened up a whole new spectrum of possibilities, starting from the ability for Bugatti engineers to rearrange all the components, including the transmission, which no longer sits between the driver and passenger. Instead, it's been moved behind the engine, while the center of the under-cabin space is now reserved for a massive 21 kilowatt-hour battery that feeds electric motors with much-needed power and even allows this hypercar to cruise with a gas engine turned off, with the max EV range of over 30 miles. Another important thing about the new engine is its weight. Despite the larger displacement, the new engine is actually lighter and weighs no more than 555 pounds, which, along with other weight savings, compensates for the additional weight of the battery. Back to the transmission. It's also a new component with an extra gear compared to the Chiron, which featured a 7-speed dual-clutch unit. This one has 8 gears and sends all that power to wheels that are equipped with bespoke Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires with plenty enough grip to tame all those horses under the hood and one of the axles. In numbers, this translates to 0 to 62 or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 2 seconds flat. As for the rest of the metrics, 5 seconds are plenty enough to hit 124 miles per hour. 5 more seconds and the Tourbillon is up to 186 miles per hour, while 25 seconds are enough to get to 236 miles per hour. That's the top speed of the new Bugatti, but only until you install the special speed key. This key unlocks the massive rear wing and deploys it upright to serve as kind of an air brake. With it engaged, the max speed goes all the way up to 276 miles per hour. Frank Hale is signed as a designer of the new Bugatti Tourbillon, a person who played a significant role in designing the Chiron as well. With that in mind, it doesn't surprise that all integral elements of Bugatti's design philosophy are there. This hypercar was designed with the company's 115-year-long tradition in mind. Yes, most design elements look close to the Chiron, but these aesthetic solutions have been established long ago on iconic models like the Type 35 or Atlantic. The famous horseshoe grille, along with recognizable headlights, a C-shaped line that separates the back of the cabin, a raised roof, and other Bugatti trademarks are there. Some tend to say that the company played safe, but we could not disagree more, because if you look a little bit closer, you'll see that the grille is narrower, the C-line is edgier, and the fenders are wider. Moreover, the new model is 1.3 inches lower than its predecessor. In any case, we really like the way the Tourbillon looks. It's clean, yet aggressive, while there's no unnecessary drama on the bodywork in terms of air intakes and things like that. There are a few entry points as well as carbon fiber diffuser which does its job right, especially in combination with the aforementioned rear wing. What's also important to mention is that the Tourbillon's body is completely made of carbon fiber. Also, not a single part was carried from the Chiron, not even any part of the suspension. Instead, the new multi-link setup, 3D printed, also utilizes lightweight materials and it's 45% lighter than before. Judging by the way Bugatti officials describe the new interior, this may be the part of the car they're most proud of, because designers had only one thing in mind when working on the new cabin: to make it timeless. Therefore, once you take a look at the new interior design, the first thing you'll notice is that digital elements are missing. This cabin doesn't look contemporary. There are no digital gauges, head-up displays, or any other modern tech goodie, because the whole idea is to prevent this masterpiece from looking awkward a couple of decades from now. This car was made to become a timeless classic, and the cabin has the important mission to reflect that perfectly. Of course, it all starts with the steering wheel and what's behind it. The gauge cluster has been done by Swiss watchmakers, and that perfectly aligns with the vehicle's nameplate. It's presented like a mechanical timepiece mounted on the steering column and remains in place when steering the wheel. Also, the glass that covers these gauges is Miles sapphire crystal, the same material that's used for expensive watches to ensure scratch protection. 3 large dials stand there and represent the work of timeless perfection. And while we talk about classic solutions, let's mention that the massive center console is also designed in the traditional manner, full of physical controls. Aluminum switches, rotary dials, and a crystal lever that starts the engine, and all there to ensure a timeless design. The new Bugatti Tourbillon is designed to become an instant collector's item, not just to break some speed and performance records. It represents another step in Bugatti's evolution, but also shows huge aspirations to become one of the most sought-after items among rich car enthusiasts in years to come. For that reason, the company plans to produce no more than 250 examples, and it looks like the famous automakers will be selling the Tourbillon only to loyal customers, those who already established a record by previously buying Bugatti or Rimac models. The new model is still in the test phase, and production most likely won't start before 2026, when the first examples are expected to be delivered. As for the price, the exact figure is yet to be determined, but we know it will certainly go over $4 million. What do you think of the 2026 Bugatti Tourbillon? Can the new hybrid setup beat the good old W16? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.